The hospital suite was immaculate, adorned with luxurious furnishings befitting a man of James Whitfield's stature. James, a wealthy donor known for his generous contributions and unrelenting demands, reclined in his bed, flipping impatiently through a financial magazine. He glanced at his watch and sighed, his frustration mounting. The door creaked open, and a tall, elegant black woman in a white coat entered. Her presence was calm but commanding as she introduced herself with a polite smile. "Good morning, Mr. Whitfield. I'm Dr. Sarah Thompson, and I'll be overseeing your care." James barely looked up before his frown deepened. "You're my doctor?" His tone was sharp, almost incredulous. "Yes, sir," she replied, her composure unshaken. "I've reviewed your case thoroughly." He cut her off with a dismissive wave. This won't do. I asked for a real, qualified doctor." Dr. Thompson remained professional, her voice steady. "I assure you, I'm fully qualified. I completed my training at Harvard Medical School and specialize in cases like yours." James sat up straighter, glaring. "Harvard, huh? Impressive. But let's not pretend this isn't some diversity quota at play. I'm paying for the best treatment, not a political statement." A brief pause followed his words, but Dr. Thompson didn't flinch. "I understand your concerns," she said evenly. "If you'd like, I can call administration to discuss this further." He nodded curtly. "Do that. I won't be treated by someone who doesn't meet my standards." Dr. Thompson left the room, her expression unreadable. Outside, whispers rippled through the staff as word of the incident spread. Many knew Whitfield's reputation, and some were visibly uneasy about challenging such a powerful donor. The next morning, the hospital board convened for its quarterly meeting. Executives gathered in the grand conference room, expecting routine updates. Conversations quieted abruptly as Dr. Thompson entered the room, this time dressed in an impeccable business suit. She walked to the head of the table, her presence commanding. The hospital CEO stood, clearing his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Dr. Sarah Thompson, our new chief of medicine and the hospital's majority stakeholder." A stunned silence filled the room. Gasps rippled through the attendees, and all eyes turned to James Whitfield, who sat frozen in his chair, his face pale. Dr. Thompson addressed the room, her voice calm but firm. "Thank you. Over the past few weeks, I've taken time to observe the hospital's culture and operations firsthand. While I've been impressed by the dedication of our staff, I've also witnessed behaviors that undermine our mission of providing equitable care." Her gaze swept the room before landing on Whitfield, whose discomfort was now palpable. "Yesterday, I experienced an incident that highlighted a critical issue. A patient refused treatment based on unfounded assumptions about my qualifications and identity. Such behavior not only disrespects our staff but also jeopardizes the quality of care we strive to provide." The tension in the room was palpable as she continued. "Effective immediately, the hospital will implement a zero-tolerance policy for discriminatory behavior toward staff. Patients who refuse care for discriminatory reasons will be discharged unless their condition is life-threatening. Our team's dignity and expertise are non-negotiable." A wave of applause broke out among the board members and staff present. The CEO nodded in approval, and several executives murmured their agreement. Then, Dr. Thompson turned her attention back to Whitfield. Her tone remained professional, but her words carried weight. "As it happens, I'm also a specialist in the very condition you're seeking treatment for. My credentials speak for themselves, but I will respect your decision to choose another provider. However, I expect the same respect for every member of my team moving forward." Whitfield sat in stunned silence, his earlier arrogance replaced by visible regret. Dr. Thompson's unwavering grace had left no room for retaliation, only a powerful message about integrity and leadership. As the meeting adjourned, staff members walked out with a renewed sense of pride, knowing they were led by someone who not only stood for justice but also elevated the entire institution. Dr. Thompson's actions set a precedent, ensuring the hospital's culture would never be the same again.